What's going on, guys? My name is Amy. I'm a 7 months day trader now. We're doing a 6 months recap in this video. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, say hello. Thank you to all who've been following me for the last few months on this amazing journey. Sharing the journey from Galveston, Texas. Got the ocean right here behind me. I'm on some travel right now and going to test out my traveling trading station here while I get on a cruise ship tomorrow. So I thought it would be interesting to just share, what it's been like so far, having completed 6 months. To recap, excuse me, December was when I officially said I'm gonna stick to day trading. Before that, I was doing some swing trades with the occasional day trade, and I just decided, yep, just gonna do the day stuff. So December I was profitable, January I was profitable, February was my first not profitable month, and I started using stop losses. So that was one of the reasons, was just adapting to risk management. March I was profitable, April I was not profitable, and closing out May, not profitable, but only by like $9. I looked at my my account balance, and I didn't go into depth with all my trades and what have you, but yeah, not too far off from break even. So yay. May specifically, I was focused on basically doing Ross Cameron's strategy, trading low float, small caps, stocks that are momentum, so moving very quickly. And I felt like definitely the first few weeks of May was just adapting, learning. And if it hadn't been for, there was literally like one trade that I got stuck in, and basically couldn't sell my shares. It was literally stuck, and I tried to figure out what happened, like why I couldn't sell them. I kept getting rejections, and Schwab was like, I don't know. I was trying to sell at the bid. It was during the pre-market. I couldn't flatten. I couldn't, sell at the market. I only had the option of selling at the bid or the ask with limit orders. And finally, what got me out of that trade was splitting the shares in half, 10 and then 10 to get out. So that ended up being like a $31 loss. But my average losers were a couple of dollars normally, because I was trading between 2 and 10 shares at the beginning of the month. And then about a little over a week ago, I bumped up to 20 shares. And, the last few days have been red, but it's just kind of been like, kind of a crapshoot. Like, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. I had a nice first time ever, 5 green trading day streak over the course of 2 weeks during May, or almost 2 weeks, and that was just kind of cool to experience that. What I started to do was adapt Ross's strategy. Basically, I started his trial, let's see, I think I close out 2 weeks on Tuesday this week. It's Saturday, and yeah, and so I was watching him trade live and stuff, and before that I was trying to trade just like him, and I was like, nope, can't do it, don't have the software like he does, don't have the broker like he does, don't have the finger speed like he does. So I basically found my own strategy of picking my own entry. And what's really worked well for me on my winning trades is to pick a spot where I think I would get stopped out. So I look for trades that are moving fast on news, usually at the top of the hour, the 30-minute mark, in the pre-market. I do way better in the pre-market than I do after the bell. And for these kinds of trades anyway. From that, I would pick a spot where, say the stock's moving very quickly, it's shooting past say $5. I would look at the chart, and I'd find where a micro pullback was. And it really helps to have a 10-second chart for this. So if you can kind of look at the 10 seconds, see where there's a little bit of hesitation, a little bit of, pullback, something like that, that you can jump in that area, that's where I would put my limit entry order. And what I'll do is I'll do a bracket order in Thinkorswim, and I'll put a take profit level that I think makes sense, either high of day or something, reasonable to try to hit. And a lot of times the best quality, A+ quality setup stocks would have these rises, and then they'd come back down, right? They'd come back down, pick up my order, and then shoot back up. And if I had gotten into that trade when it was like soaring, right, like probably would have just gotten flushed out, would have had to kick myself out with the mental stop. And that's what I'm using, by the way, now is mental stop losses, because you can't have a fixed stop loss, right, in pre-market. So, it is what it is. But pretty much all of May has been learning and adapting to this new strategy. And I believe I started Amy's Trading Tribe on Telegram, I think at the very beginning of May, if I'm not mistaken. We've grown to well over 400 members now, and we trade live together in that group. So come check it out, join us, link down below. It's totally free. And it's become like a support group, accountability, sharing tips, sharing ideas, sharing things that are working, sharing embarrassing stories when things go wrong, and what we can all do better to improve as traders. And I think it's really helped me to just continue on this journey and realize, you're not alone in this. It's very much a solo kind of path, career. And yet, there's people out there doing this too, from all over the world, and you can, bond and whatnot. So I think that's really helped my trading. It doesn't mean I became profitable overnight or anything. Had I not had that one large loss, I say large, it's like $30 for the trade I couldn't get out of, this month, May, I might have ended up profitable or break even, roughly. Like I said, ending balance, I'm down like $9, so it's not huge if I look at May 1 to May 30. June, I kind of had it's been a little bit of a shaky start in June, but again, it's just, I think the market too has just been a little wonky. There's been a lot of stocks lately, that pop and drop, and unfortunately that's just the way it is with these small caps sometimes, depending on the industry. I've noticed, like, for example, the ones that pop on crypto news, they tend to be the ones that flush. I think the better ones, and I'm actually going to have to go through my trades and see which industry stocks have done well for me, but I want to say biotech. It seems to be a little bit better, a little more consistent. I tend to stay away from the Chinese stocks. Occasionally I might trade them, but I feel like the couple times I have is the times where, it ended up being a loss. So keep that in mind for those ones. They when you hear the term pump and dump, I think that's one of the times where it's like, yeah, these kind of stocks, they have that tendency to go that way. But yeah, the crypto ones, for a long time, there was like a streak of crypto stocks popping in the pre-market, and then it was like, okay, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, and a lot of them try to float the same story, across different stocks, and you just, it's a risk management thing, depending on what kind of stocks you actually will go for. So lessons learned on that. Like I said, I'm still in Ross's trial right now for 2 weeks. It's been really, really helpful to watch him trade live, because I feel that it's just cool to see a professional at work, like in their environment, doing the thing, live time. I don't try to mirror trade or copy trade him. There's been like 1 or 2 trades I did get in that he got in, same time. One that I was profitable on, one that was negative. And the time I was negative was, I was kind of trying to chase it. Like, he's already in it, I'm jumping in, well past 10-second mark of him, because his stream is slightly delayed, right? It's just technology. And so to try to actually follow what he's doing, I don't recommend it. Use your own form of strategy of getting in and out, and his scanners. The scanners are really good. There's been times where I've seen stocks pop on his scanners that I do not see on the free ones. Like, for example, I was using Momo free scanner, Zendu on YouTube, Trade Life Mastery, and yeah, occasionally there's some stuff popping on Ross's that aren't on those ones, and either it's delayed or it never shows up. So, you get what you pay for, and I get why he charges for that. I have access to it with the trial right now. I think after the trial, my plan is to do 1 or 2 months of his live stream, just pay monthly for that, just to continue learning, you know, like adapting his strategy and learning like how does a professional trader perform. Because one of the things I noticed was that he stays very calm, cool, collected, regardless of the trade going way in his favor or totally against it. And he has absolutely no reservations about exiting trades. You know, it's like, okay, as soon as you see your signals to get the heck out, he's out. Like, you know, he's like, might jump back in, you know, hits a new level, jump back in. I'm not at that point yet where I feel like I can jump in and out of a trade, you know, same stock. I've done it like a couple of times, and it's just, you gotta just be so fast, right? Because I'm doing these limit buy orders, setting up bracket orders, it doesn't make sense for me to try to get in and out of trades quickly. It's like, no, so it's a one shot. But yeah, it's working well, and I've had some people tell me that they've adapted my, you know, basically look for the stop loss area to get in. They've adapted that strategy and had some winning trades. So yay, you know, feel free to steal it. not my idea by any means. I think there's been a couple of traders credited with this idea of getting in at a stop loss. I think it was Dr. David Paul was one of them, who's actually a mentor to Tom Hugard, who wrote Best Loser Wins. So yeah, you know, kind of just to wrap this video up, I don't want to make it too long. I'm kind of holding the phone here. You know, 6 months fully completed. I definitely feel like after May, you know, just and even during that month, that I felt like finally I have a strategy. Finally, like I'm not just sort of playing at this and, you know, trying things and testing things. And, you know, there was several months where it was like just trying to figure it out, right? And I think just honing in, following Ross, you know, with the type of strategy he goes for and the type of stocks that he picks, not so much trying to trade exactly like him, but the other things. That's really helped me hone in, and I feel like make progress and make like, I feel more confident as a trader now. I feel like, okay, I have a plan. If it goes my way, great. If it doesn't, oh well. And throughout the month of May, there was several times where, you know, I just learned to like stop caring so much about the outcome of the trade. And it was great. It was freeing. You know, several of my winning trades, that was my attitude. It was like, oh, you know, who cares? And put the order in. You know, if it picks me up, great. If I get in the trade and it goes my way, great. If it doesn't, who cares, right? And so just to have that peace of mind, that mentality about it, it's been really nice to be able to trade like that. And then also to bump my share size because it was, like I said, about a little over a week ago, I bumped up to 20 shares. And I felt like I've done really well with my risk management. Aside from the one trade I got stuck in, that was a 20 share trade. Other than that, you know, it's gone really well. Like I haven't had the same issues crop up when I've tried to scale like in the past, and I'm like, ooh, you know, you take a loss and then you're like freaked out. Yeah, that hasn't happened. So yay, moving into June, looking to keep studying. You know, I watch a Ross video like every day, take notes, technical stuff. I'm really dialing in on learning the level 2. That's my next thing, just keep mastering level 2. One quick thing I'll say before I go is that I'll focus my attention on the charts, 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 second, to pick the stock. And then once I see like, oh, this looks like a good setup, I pretty much shift 90% of my attention over to the level 2. I'm watching the timing sales, I'm watching the order book to make sure there's no giant seller or something. And that's really helped me to feel like I've got a pulse feel of the market. So if you guys are interested in any of the day trading resources I've learned from thus far, there's a link down below. You can put your email in and get access to my Google Doc for free. Putting all kinds of stuff in there that's helped me on this journey. And you know, 6 months strong, no blown accounts, still going. Come join us in Amy's Trading Tribe on Telegram. Link also down below, free for that. And I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, guys.